टेक्नोलॉजी भी कहाँ से कहाँ पहुंच गई।
हाँ मेरा चलिए मैं फोन कहाँ रख दिया है यहीं पे।
टेक्नोलॉजी भी कहाँ से कहाँ पहुंच गई। ये इमेजेस वगैरह कहाँ से मिली आपको।
ये एक माता जी ने ड्रॉ किया हुआ है, तो वो मुझे उसका पूरा कॉपी मैंने उनके पास से लिया था।
मैंने इंटरनेट में पिक्चर्स नहीं देखी आप।
हम्म।
ये भी भक्ति है पूरी। ये इसमें इमेजिन करके बनाना है।
हाँ, हर एक कैंटो का उन्होंने पूरा चैप्टर वाइज किया हुआ है। ओके। आर्ट वर्क काफी अच्छा किया हुआ है।
वो पूरी।
हरे कृष्णा एवरीवन, थैंक यू फॉर ज्वाइनिंग। लेट्स begin our discussion on Canto 2. This Canto 2 at a glance. We'll begin with the prayers, Mangalacharan prayers. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति सपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगे राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Is my audio, is it audible?
Yes, Mama. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, just want to make sure. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All right, so we'll start with this discussion on the Canto 2. Uh,
हरे कृष्णा मामा वॉल्यूम डाउन हो गया है।
all right, sound settings. Put microphone there. Now, Hare Krishna.
It's now audible properly. Thank you.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Okay, so in Canto 1, we saw that there were many questions asked by the sages of Naimisharanya. That's where Canto 1 began. And in particularly, the sages were concerned about the people in the age of Kali. So they were asking questions for everyone actually. These questions are applicable to anyone, and it is like these questions are such that it is for the ultimate good of the humanity in general. So there are six questions they asked, and what is the ultimate good for humanity? And the answer was immediately given by Sutta Goswami. Uh, that, bhakti is the Hare Krishna, is the essence of, basically, is the essence of all the scriptures, as well as, it is to be done by everybody for the ultimate success. Hare Krishna. Prasad.
Yeah.
आपने
I told Prabhu, but I ate.
Okay.
Sorry, Prabhu.
So yeah, that's fine. So then he talks about this. Another question was about Krishna's appearance, and then Krishna's Purusha avatars, Leela avatars.
Just normal mala.
Now here.
Yesterday I cooked late. It's okay, right?
Yeah. So there. So and then there was questions about Purusha avatars, Leela avatars, how the Lord is engaged in. आया आराम से बैठो.
थोड़ा गर्मी लग रहा
No, that one doesn't have the back support, so.
Yeah. You can sit here, either here, there, wherever. Yeah.
है कृष्ण
And there was another question about, where does people take shelter? Because when Krishna lives, the Dharma also lives with him. So where should people take shelter? So then he explains that as soon as Krishna left, the Bhagavatam's appearance came. Bhagavat gives shelter to all the living entities. So this was then, after that, they asked a second set of question about Parikshit Maharaj, about Vyasdev, about Sukadev Goswami. So these questions were all answered in the first canto. And when they were talking about Parikshit Maharaj, then further questions came up. So this shows the inquisitiveness of the devotees who were hearing the katha. That they were really inquisitive in knowing what happened with Parikshit, Maharaj Parikshit. And further, they asked about the question regarding how he left his body. And because Sutta Goswami was present, before leaving the body, they knew that the Bhagavat was discussed. So what was the question that was asked by Parikshit Maharaj in particular? So this begins with the Canto 2. In the Canto 1, last chapter, there is appearance of Sukadeva Goswami. And when Sukadeva Goswami appears, Maharaj Parikshit, he asked him, actually he asked him this two particular questions, but after he answered those two questions, he asked several other questions. So these were the first two questions that, O Guru of the Saint, show us the way of perfection for all the people, especially one who is about to die. And then he's asking that, what should one hear? What should one chant? What should one remember before death? And also what one should not do. So in the first chapter in Canto 2, the chapter is about the first step in God realization. So he begins with what one should not do. So he basically says that one should not live a life of Griyamedi. Griyamedi is a person whose total faith is on material things around him. And he only believes that whatever is around me, let me just enjoy, because I have this one life. Let me just enjoy this as much as possible. So he passes his time in the night by sex, and in the daytime he is earning money and maintaining his family. So this is what Ajgriyamadi is doing. So Parikshit Maharaj says that, Hare Krishna. आइए प्रसाद लिया आपने? Otherwise, yeah, so he says that one should not live a life of a Griyamedi, and one should engage his life as he must be doing what he should chant. That was a question. So he said that if you really want freedom from fear and miseries, then you must hear about, glorify, and remember Sri Lord Hari. So he immediately answers the question what one should do. And then he says that the perfection or the highest perfection of human life is Ante Narayana Smriti. If one can remember Krishna at the time of death, there is nothing better than that. This is Ante Narayana Smriti. This is the highest perfection of human life. Then later on, Parikshit Maharaj asked other questions. And this is the question number, this is the fifth time he's asking question. This is regarding that, after that, Parikshit Maharaj Sukadev Goswami actually goes, because it is not possible for everyone to actually surrender to the Supreme Lord, because all these things required surrender. It is very difficult for somebody to surrender to anybody, because without knowing, without understanding the personality, how can you surrender? So therefore, he begins from the very low level. So first he gives the highest what one should do, and then he goes down to the lower level. And then he starts with the process of Ashtanga Yoga. So in the 16th through 19th verse of the first chapter of second canto, he describes the Ashtanga Yoga process in a very brief. And then he comes to the stage of Dharana. Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. So Maharaj Parikshit is inquisitive about that. So he's asking, how is this dharana of Ashtanga Yogi established, or what we should do? Dharana means, dharana, dhyan, samadhi is nothing but it is a meditation process, right, for a Ashtanga Yogi. So that Ashtanga Yogi, when he is meditating, what he should meditate upon, right? So he says that for a beginner, the a, a beginner who is Ashtanga Yogi can be in the beginning stage or he can be in the advanced stage. So if somebody is in the beginning stage, so this one slide which covers everything. So actually I focused on this one slide. So yama, niyama, asana, pranayam. This can be done staying in home. However, at the stage of pratyahara, one has to leave home and go to the jungle and then practice pratyahara. This is actually explained in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, starting from verse 11 onwards. So there, one gives up his normal material life. So, and then he practices Ashtanga Yoga in association or in seclusion or in association of a guru who guides him in performing this Ashtanga Yoga process. So somebody who is practicing pratyahar, he has to start give after pratyahar means they have to give up all kind of ahar. Ahar means food, right? So he has to give all kind of desires, basically. He has to give up all kind of desires. However, if the person still have desire, so that kind of person is an attached yogi. So then the guru guides him that, your dharanashraya means your object of meditation. What are you going to meditate upon? Should be the Virat Rupa. Virat Rupa should be your meditation. For whom? For somebody who is attached yogi. However, if the person at the stage of pratyahar, his desires are gone, then he can directly, so that person is a detached yogi and he can directly meditate upon Paramatma. So this is the beginning meditation process.
That should the material person doing some yoga or like
Material person who is doing some yoga, he falls within this range.
He is the attached yogi, right?
He is attached in the beginning, but when he crosses this stage and goes to pratyahar, where he has to give up his home,
Then he becomes detached.
he may, after that also, he may have attachment. This is important, that he may have attachment even after giving up the home, because it's in the mind, right? And remember, at this stage, one can't cheat, right? Like in the beginning, bhakti yoga process, we all have cheating tendencies, because with that we come into bhakti yoga. But as we advance, slowly our purification has to happen. Anartha nivritti has to happen. At that stage, you can't cheat. I mean, our mind will not say, right, that I can't cheat. That it will not allow you to cheat. So that person knows that I am attached, and he expresses that to his guru. Like, we also, while practicing bhakti, we are having so much attachments. So we actually open up in front of our guru and explain that, we have this. Then our guru guides. Okay, you do this. Slowly you will get detached. So similarly, this attached yogi knows that he is attached. Then when the guru, he guides him that, okay, you are attached, that's fine. It will take some time. So Then you focus on your meditation should be Virat Rupa or Virat Purusha. Yeah, प्रभु be comfortable. Okay, यहाँ पे वो ऊपर भी बैठ सकता.
मुझे ऊपर कोई आने वाला है.
हाँ आएंगे तो आप बैठ जाएगा. आप ऊपर भी बैठ सकते हैं, यहाँ पे भी बैठ सकते हैं. So his dharana is Virat Rupa, and he still has desires because he wants to enjoy this material world, things in the material world. So the path that this person takes, he continues to have desire. Then Krishna makes arrangement that you go to different planetary system. In the higher planetary system, there is a lot of enjoyment. So you go to other planetary system and enjoy. And then when you are satisfied, then you move forward and then you enjoy other kind of things which is still there in your heart. So then he goes from this planet Vishwanara Loka to then Shishumara Loka, then from there Mahar Loka, then Brahma Loka, then he gives up. So this is the path he takes. And then finally, he pierces Pradhan and gets liberation. So this is the path for an attached yogi. But somebody who is detached, his object of meditation is Paramatma. Now, when normally our understanding is that the Ashtanga yogi is meditating on Paramatma, but that has been discarded by Sukadeva Goswami. That's our assumption. So now we have to be clear in the second canto, it is very clear whose object of meditation is Paramatma, who is detached, who doesn't have any tendency to enjoy in this material world. That is the person, Hare Krishna. Then he goes to Dhyana, Samadhi, and then finally he gets the Brahman realization. Huh? Yeah. Takya bhi hai. And then using the Satchakra Yoga process, he uplifts his prana. This is the diagram which shows he uplifts his prana from the base, from the Muladhara Chakra, and then he exits like this. Now, when he exits, he has option either to merge into the body of Mahavishnu, or he can also go into Brahma Jyoti, or he can meet a devotee, and then he can also become devotee, and then he can go to Vaikuntha Loka. So the paths are open for him. So for this particular practitioner, there are multiple paths that are open. But he has an initial desire. Generally, he will stick to his desire. But the desire may change. Meeting the devotees, the desire may change. So now
So
with
this one, he decides
yes,
where to go.
everyone, you have to decide where do you want to go actually. Like in Bhakti Yoga also, we have so many options. So we have to decide, okay, I want to go this place.
So doesn't it say that Krishna decides?
No, no. It is living and it is desire. It's our free will.
वो जो कहानी बोलते हैं उसके लिए वो रस्सी बांधती यशोदा,
हाँ.
उसमें वो 2 उंगली का गैप रहता है. तो वो तो दो, मतलब कहने का मतलब ये है कि वो वहां तक पहुंच सकते, 2 उंगली का जो गैप है वो कृष्णा ही पूरा करते हैं.
हाँ, तो 2 उंगली क्या है? One is, what are those two? Explained by our Acharya.
Endeavor.
Our endeavor and then Krishna's mercy.
Krishna
So,
mercy is important, right?
So Krishna's mercy, of course, it's important. But first is our endeavor. Our endeavor means we endeavor towards what we would like to this whatever is our desire. Based on that, we are endeavor. Like Mother Yashoda's endeavor was what? Her desire was to tie Krishna. So she had that desire to tie Krishna. Then she endeavored to try Krishna, but she could not. So she had that desire.
तो इस केस में कृष्णा की will नहीं आएगी इसमें.
Of course, Krishna का भी blessing है इसमें. As he puts his endeavor, then Krishna's blessing is there. But he will go wherever he desires. So that free will Krishna has given all of us. Okay, so now we go to this Virat Purusha. We started with Virat Purusha last time. So what is this Virat Purusha? But before understanding Virat Purusha, which is a very complicated subject, we wanted to understand that how Virat Purusha comes much later.
What is the topic of the
Today's topic is Virat Purusha. Virat Purusha only we started last time, but we couldn't complete it. Yeah.
Canto 2 review?
Canto 2, the whole thing is like 360 degree thing is like Canto 2 review.
Okay.
But this Canto 2 review, in the Canto 2, this Virat Purusha is discussed multiple times. And how many times? In Canto 2, it is discussed 3 times. It is discussed 3
Chapter
times.
1, chapter 10, and
Chapter 2, Canto 2, chapter 1, verse. नहीं, मैंने 5 बार टोटल बताया, बट वो कैंटो 3 में 2 बार है.
अच्छा, कैंटो 3 में.
हाँ, कैंटो 3 में 2 बार है, कैंटो 2 में 3 बार है, कैंटो 11 में है, which we have not, I have not put here.
इसी में 4 दिख रहा है.
नहीं,
हाँ, 3 है.
3 है,
4 है, वो कोने में भी है.
1 है, 2 है, ये 3.
अच्छा, you're going by
हाँ हाँ, 3 बार इसको डिस्कस किया.
you're combining those two as one actually.
कौन से 2? These are not 2, this is 1.
Canto 2, chapter 5, chapter 6 का एक काउंट करेंगे.
नहीं, ये चैप्टर 5 में, एंड देन द कंटिन्यूएशन इन चैप्टर 6. हाँ, एंड देन कैंटो 3, चैप्टर 6. हरे कृष्णा, हरे कृष्णा, हरे कृष्णा. चेयर ले लिए. हरे कृष्ण.
His friend, our neighbor.
Oh.
So his mother-in-law is devotee. She
Oh,
was visiting us, so I came to know. So he was interested.
okay.
I texted you also, but I think.
Oh, I didn't see it. Sorry.
Is that room for it?
Yes, please. Yeah, there is.
Yes. I'll get.
You can sit here also. You can sit wherever you want, wherever you feel comfortable. Yeah. But just a caution, we are discussing much advanced topics. So something
I
you,
listen in and
yeah,
try to grasp as much as possible.
yeah. Thank you. If you have questions, we'll still try to answer.
Yeah, thank
Okay, so 3 times it is discussed, like.
you.
Yeah. And then in Canto 3, which chapter we are going to start, that's where we are starting. This is the 6th chapter, 5th and 6th chapter. And then towards the end, Kapila Dev again discussed that. So now this, I put a slide about the causes, and we discussed about that also. That is it's good to have, but the whole Bhagavatam is talking about cause and effect. So any effect which we are seeing has a cause. Without the cause, it doesn't create any effect. So what is the cause behind this material creation, the material world which we see? What is the cause, or who is the cause behind that? So in Shastras, particularly in Nyaya Shastra, there is this terms as Upadana Karan, Nimitta Karan, Sahakari Karan. Sahakari Karan is not much used because within the Nimitta Karan, within the Upadana Karan, these are covered. So it's not used much. But let's understand what is Upadana Karan. So Upadana Karan is a material cause. So
Zoom का वो can hide the bar.
how?
Lower level.
Disco. Hide video.
Yeah. Hide floating windows control. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Story.
Okay, good. Good, thank you.
और उसको भी जो ऑडियो जो पार्टिसिपेंट उसको भी मिनिमाइज कर दीजिए ताकि वो अगर आपको चाहे तो नेक्स्ट
Yeah.
उसको पहला वाला हाँ बस यस आपके लिए बोल रहा हूँ मेरे कोई चौथा दिख नहीं रहा था.
Yeah. So Upadan Karan. What is Upadana Karan? Upadana is a material. So we take an example. We took last time the example of a potter. So potter is a person who is making pots, right? So in order to make pots, there is a purpose for making the pot. Why the pot is made? So there is a purpose. We are going to use it for either drinking water or storing water or for whatever purpose it is. So that is, the Sanskrit term is hetu or prayojan. Right? Now there is a person who is going to make it. That is the potter. Right? So that potter, what does he do? Does he change himself to the pot? No. He is using his energy to make pot. So he is giving that energy to make that pot. So he is the Nimitta Karan, and he need material for making that pots. So that is the clay, right? And then he is using instrument to make that pot. So that instrument is Sahakari Karan. Now this Upadan and Sahakari are generally clubbed together. So sometimes it is only used the word Upadan. So mainly these two terms you will see. And today also we are going to see these two terms, Nimitta and Upadan. Sahakari Karan is normally not used. But just for clarification purpose, is the instrumental cause, it's a will, it is a stick. It is used for making the pot. However, it doesn't finally turns into the pot. But what is the most important thing in this? The most important thing is the energy given by the potter. Right? Unless he gives the energy, it will not happen. Unless he gives, uses the stick, puts the clay, and then gives a shape, it will not happen. So similarly, yes, Mate.
So, in this material creation,
Hmm.
where the material Shambhu, that glance happens, right? So
Hmm.
can you explain in that sense what is material cause and effective cause?
Yes, I'm going to explain that today. It's going to come in the further slides. So similarly, Aristotle also, he also gave in his philosophy, he discusses this. He gives this name as material cause, efficient cause. Efficient cause is for the table, efficient cause could be the carpenter or person. So he is calling it as efficient cause. However, we call it as a nimitta karan. Right? And then the formal, he gives the shape. Right? So this table can be either round or table can be square or it can be triangle or whatever shape he designs. But then there is a purpose which he calls as a final cause. Right? Now, that final cause is actually included in the potter's mind. Right? The potter is giving his energy, so that is also included in that. Right? The final cause. What is the purpose for which is the hetu for which he is going to make it? So the material creation has two aspects. One is the primary creation of matter and elements, and the second is this visarga. That is, first one is called as sarga, second one is called as visarga. Visarga is done by Brahmaji, and primary creation is done by Lord Vishnu. But a particular form of Vishnu, that is Karona Dakshaya Vishnu. So we'll see that. However, who is Karana Dakshaya Vishnu? So this diagram gives us a brief idea that there is a spiritual world which we discussed here in the very beginning, that the entire manifestation, what we see, is divided into two parts, 3/4 and 1/4. 3/4 part is the spiritual world, which is never created. It is eternal. It is always existing. Now, this eternal concept is very difficult for us to digest. Because for us, we see something is created, something is maintained. The same thing is like this watch is created at some time by some company. Then I bought it. Then I'm wearing it for some times. And then after some time it will break. And it will be thrown away. So recycled or whatever. So, but this spiritual world is eternal. It is never created. It has been never created. And part of this entire manifestation is this material world, which is 1/4 of the total manifestation. Just to give an idea. So Brahmaji, he calls it as Ekpada Vibhuti. Ekpada Vibhuti means 1/4 of the total existence, right, or total manifestation. This is creation. So here there is creation, there is maintenance, there is destruction. Again, there is creation, but this is also going on eternally. This is also going on eternally. Creation, maintenance, destruction. And this is happening in cycle. So what we are going to start, and then this is so these slides are shared with you, all of you, and you can also read. I'm not going to, this is all we discussed in the previous sessions. So what are the qualities of this Ekpad means 1/4 creation? What are the qualities of 3-path Vibhuti? This is given, right? So cycle of birth and death is present here. We are all going through the cycle of birth and death. We take birth at certain point of time, then we grow up, then we maintain ourselves, then we have offsprings, we dwindle, and then we die. So like that, we are going through the cycle of birth and death. Then who are the residents? What are their qualities, right? And here there is no birth, no death, no old age, no disease. Like that, all these distinctions are given. And for whom this is meant, spiritual world is meant for those who are actually connected with the Supreme Lord, or who want to serve the Supreme Lord in one or other ways. That is the threefold. And here are the people actually who are attached to their enjoyment, their own personal enjoyment, and they want to enjoy separate from Krishna. Therefore, they are placed in this material realm. This is the idea given by Brahmaji in this section of this verse 18 to 22 in the, I think it's in the sixth chapter of Canto 2. So I will start from here. Two aspects we already covered. So here the creation part, which we are the 1/4 section which we are discussing, that's the section we are going to discuss today in detail. How that happens. So that happens in two stages. One is called as Karana Srishti, other is called as Karya Srishti. Right? I'll come back to this slide again. So this is where the creation begins. Mahavishnu, who is lying down in the Karana ocean. So this is, or it is also called as Viraja river, or Virja river, right? And this is between the two. So there is a creation, maintenance, destruction, and then again the creation will happen. Right? So when the second time, or in our terms, let's say first time the creation. This is eternal, however, for our understanding that the last creation happened, and maintenance also happened, and destruction also happened, and now again the creation is going to happen. So between the two creations, this is a stage we are discussing. So what happens in this stage is all the living entities are within the body of Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu is huge, right? All the universes, all the bodies, all the living entities like us, we are all within this Mahavishnu, right? Now, the stage, so within his body means we are in a sleeping stage. Right? So all of us have experience of sleep. Now, when we are sleeping, actually, when we are in deep sleep, we don't know where we are actually. Especially when we are in Susupti. Susupti is a stage where there is no dream, nothing going. If you have this kind of watches, smart watches, you will be able to see that there is a deep sleep. Now, deep sleep is something, this is Susupti. In that, we don't know anything what is going on around us. However, somebody who is seeing from outside will see us lying on the bed. Imagine that we are seeing ourselves lying in the bed and we have absolutely no idea. So that stage is Sushupti, and all the living entities are within the bodies of Mahavishnu in the stage of Sushupti. So because these living entities have desire, so desire can be only fulfilled by doing some action. So actions can be only done when we are awake. Right? So that stage when we are awake is called as Jagrata. Right? So from Sushupti, there are stages Sushupti, Swapna, Jagrata, and there is another stage called as Turiya. So Turiya is the fourth stage, which is one who is transcendentally
Transcendently awakened.
Transcendently totally awakened. That is the Turiya stage. However, in this stage, we are actually in Sushupti. So Mahavishnu desires that because these living entities are having desires, how will they fulfill their desire if they are sleeping? So let me wake them up. So that is his desire. Right? So at this point of time, the material nature is not existent at all. Right? It is in a non-manifested state or unmanifested state. Right? All the ingredients of material energy is undifferentiated or unmanifest form, and it is very subtle. Right? The way we understand subtle is there is subtle, like for example, what is the difference between gross and subtle if you want to understand? So one example is very famous, is about the water. We see the water, right? So that is the visible form of the water in a gross state. However, when we see the cloud, it is also water, but we can pass through the cloud. So that is subtle form of water. Now this is even subtler than that, because cloud has certain kind of form. So this is even subtler than that. So therefore, this state is that state where the existence is not there, material nature is not there at all. That state is called as pradhan. This is कर चुके हैं ना? मैं quickly जाके So then the transformation will happen from pradhan to mahatattva, and then mahatattva onwards. However, I wanted to add one thing over here, which is the concept of guna maya and jiva maya. We didn't add this. So what is guna maya and what is jiva maya? I'm going to add. So there is a role of maya. So Mahavishnu, when he wants to begin the creation, what he does, he glances. He just glances, and in his glance, the living entities are transmitted, or they move from his body to this area where there is the pradhan is there, right? That's where he injects those living entities from his body, all the living entities, right? Because this is about all the universes. And at the same time, his consort, which is Rama Devi, expands as Maya Devi. Right? And then the initial creation will begin. Right? So this particular Maya Devi is called as Guna Maya. Because then further transformation of this will happen. So here is this. After receiving Karanadaksha and Vishnu's energetic glance, because he is giving this glance, right? Maya Devi undergoes transformation and manifests three gunas, three modes. It will be more clear in the next slide. To generate all the material universes. Thus, when it comes to creation of material universe, Karanadaksha Vishnu is the Mukhya Upadan Karan, because he gives the energy. Unless he gives the energy, the creation won't happen. So he gives his energy, so therefore he is a Mukhya Upadan Karan, and Maya Devi is a Gauna Upadan Karan. Now this philosophy is called as Shakti Parinam Vada, because there are different philosophies. One is the Mayavad philosophy. Mayavad philosophy says that Brahman itself transforms into Maya. Brahman itself transforms into Maya. So this is called as Brahma Parinam Vada. This is explained in more details in Jaiva Dharma chapter 18, where he discusses about the Parinam Vada, and of course also discussed in the Chaitanya Chaitamrita Adi Lila chapter 7. That's where the discussion is there about this Shakti Parinam Vada. This is our philosophy. What we believe is Shakti Parinam Vada. The Shakti of the Lord, the energy of the Lord begins the transformation. Parinam is, as a resultant of the Shakti, the creation begins. Unless the Lord gives the Shakti, like the potter gives the energy to make the pot won't happen. Similarly, unless the Lord glances, the creation won't begin. So this is basically Shakti Parinama.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Sorry to interrupt, Prabhu. Just a quick one. So when you say Rama Devi is actually Mahalakshmi, is it?
Yes, she is Mahalakshmi, one form of Mahalakshmi. Yes, she is a consort of Karanadaksha Vishnu.
Okay. So Mahavishnu, Mahalakshmi.
So there is Lakshmi in the spiritual world also, is a counterpart of Lord Narayan, Srimad Narayan, whom the Sri Vaishnava devotees they pray, right? So that is also Sri Lakshmi. Her expansion is Rama Devi.
So Mahavishnu is not Karanodakasaya Vishnu.
Same. Mahavishnu is Karanadaksha Vishnu.
Correct. So that means the consort of Mahavishnu is Mahalakshmi, which should be Rama Devi, right?
Yeah, her name is Rama Devi. She is Lakshmi only, expansion of Lakshmi, but her name, she has a particular name because she is consort of Mahavishnu who is lying here. Right? This is Mahavishnu. Or his other name is Karana Dakshaya Vishnu. Why his name is Karana Dakshaya Vishnu? Because he is lying down on Karana ocean. Therefore, his name is Karana Dakshaya Vishnu.
Okay. So Mahavishnu is also Narayan.
He is expansion of that. As we saw this expansion, right?
That's
We
why I want to
saw
go to the
here-
charts. Just want to be sure of the hierarchy. That's all.
Yeah. So here you see from Narayan, from his
Okay.
second quintuple expansion, from Shankarshan, this expansion, is Karana Dakshaya Vishnu.
Okay. So Mahavishnu is an expansion of Sankarshan.
He is expansion of Shankarshan of the second quadruple expansion, not first.
Correct. So basically, while you're at this screen, Prabhuji, so if I understand it correctly, Narayan's consort is Mahalakshmi,
Yes,
and Karnodaksayi's consort is Ramadevi.
correct.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
Yes.
So and the people in the Sri Sampradaya actually worship, because for them there is nothing beyond Narayan.
Yes,
So for them, Narayan, everything ends with Narayan and Mahalakshmi. That's
yes,
it.
absolutely.
Right. So,
Yeah.
and everything comes from there. But of course, in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, we see the Narayan coming from the first quadruple expansion.
From the Shankarshan of first quadruple expansion.
Correct. So that's where I think there will be a disconnect between Sri Sampradaya followers and Gaudiya Vaishnavas.
Yes, absolutely.
Prabhu, where does Krishna belongs to here?
Krishna is here.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah. From Krishna, from his Swayam Rupa, there is expansions. So this is another like a detailed class. So we are not going to go into this.
So can I ask a question that's like where you were talking about Maya Devi? So it says the word, there, Mahavishnu glances.
Yes.
Define what glance means, right?
This is
Because
why we-
no, I get that, but why specifically glance? Why couldn't he just? I mean, even his breath might be
Yeah.
content enough, or even just a thought might
Yes.
be sufficient, right? So, is there a reason why you use the word glance?
Because that's how it is given, and I have not actually I don't have anybody has idea. Yeah.
So as he says, he can do glance, he can think, he can also do it. But just by thinking, he can do it.
Yeah, he can do it by anyway.
Scripture say glance.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's why I was wondering if there's any sort of
Significance.
significance to that word, right? And saying if the word's chosen for a reason. So I was
Yes.
wondering, why does it specifically?
That's
say
a good
glance?
question. I have never thought about it.
Any answer will be a speculative answer.
Unless,
Without
unless our acharyas have given some reason.
Yeah, exactly. Right now,
Right now, I don't know.
the one thing that it proves his supremacy, right? Like sometime, I don't know, right? Of course, Prabhupada and some other lecture, right? When use an example, right? When Sethi is there, right, in the hotel, right? He only sits and glances, ki sab kaam kar rahe hain, right? And everybody like, aisa karo, aisa karo. And it's just, it shows his supremacy. Like, just everything is material creation is just following his supremacy, whatever he wants to do it. So I think
That could be a-
but even when you talk about the breathing, right? When he
Yeah.
breathes, then all the material world comes out. So
Yeah.
every action or whatever he
Exactly.
does, he has the supreme
Because-
control. So it
Because
doesn't
only
need
glancing can also be done by, let's say, Sheshnag itself, right? On
Yeah.
his behalf.
Yeah, but
there.
It's not there here.
Not in that
I'm
form.
assuming it'll be part of his.
later.
Yeah.
Okay.
no, but actually he's on the Seshnag. In the picture I have not shown.
He's not shown it.
but he has a Karna version, right?
He's there he's there.
Second Sankarshana.
Yeah.
There's no difference. Sankarshana is there, right?
No, he's there in Seshnag.
Not the Sesha.
Yeah. He is there if I have that picture.
Oh, in the form of Sesha.
No, Seshnag will be there only,
No.
right? He'll have to be
Yeah.
there because
He has to be
it's-
there, yes. Yeah, it is
that's
not
his,
shown in this picture also.
Yeah.
Generally shown in the later part, like he came down in the
Yeah, here it is shown.
created universe, it's shown as Sesha.
Yeah.
Garbhodakshaya.
Garbhodakshaya. So is this added this new concept of Gunamaya? Is this clear? I'm going to go into details of that also. But this Gunamaya is the one. she is actually responsible for the, because if you see that how the Mahatmatva is going to be transformed, right? So that three gunas, or if you take this, energy of the Lord triggers transformation. Karanadakshay Vishnu, he glances, his glances and impregnates jivas into the material nature, right? Along with the jiva, the kala, the time, and the jiva's karma and swabhav is injected there. And then the three modes, because it is injecting in this material nature, they become active. So the first transformation that happens is done by Gunamaya. Is done by Gunamaya. So this transformation that is happening here is done by Gunamaya. Right? Now, if you want to read further, I have put the reference. I think I have put the reference later. You can
Prabhuji,
read. Yes.
sorry to interrupt, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, can you just go back to that flow chart?
This one?
No, the first one, the various avatars, no? The hierarchy from Lord Krishna.
Oh, okay.
Correct. That's the one. Yeah. Prabhuji, yeah. So basically, one of the Leela, I mean, in the Leela avatars, I mean, of the 6 type of avatars, we have Leela avatars, and Krishna is one of the Leela avatars. So is that the reason why Sri Sampradaya people say that Krishna is an incarnation of Narayan? Because Narayan leads to, the 6 types of avatars, of which Leela avatar is one, and in that Krishna comes. So is that the reason why Sri Sampradaya people say that actually Krishna is an incarnation of Narayana? When actually
I'm not very familiar with a lot of details from the Sri Sampradaya, nor I have read those literatures. So I assume that could be the reason, but I am not sure about that.
Okay,
I
thank you.
cannot comment unless I read it.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe like God Narayan Temple.
That concept is there.
Right? What is the where your Goran comes from?
Narayan,
Narayan.
right.
So there may be a variation of Krishna coming according to them. That
Yeah, could be, yeah. But that again is a speculation because I have not read their literature, so I cannot comment.
Is it meant that Goloka chart has that expansion?
Oh, Gornarayan?
Highness means.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
Expansion.
So, Prabhuji, different forms of Vishnu resides in different kind of oceans you showed here. So, where does Krishna reside? Is like some specific low or is like any?
Yeah, Krishna is in the Goloka Vrindavan, which is there in the here. This is the region where Krishna is there as Swayam Rupa Krishna.
So, like some people say, that is the ultimate aim of people, soul going there, right? Golok.
It is our desire. Again,
Our
it comes.
desire.
If I want to go there, then I have to worship the way, follow basically the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya.
So once someone goes there, then how does this universe creation things relate to that? If someone goes there, they cannot be part of the universe.
No, they will go there. They will eternally live with Krishna here.
Okay, internally, I talked last time.
Yeah, they will eternally live. Right now, it's kind of eternally we are living here. But then we choose to go there. It is our choice. Then we follow some sampradaya. Like Sri Sampradaya, they are attracted to the Narayan form of the Lord. So which is there in Vaikuntha. Srimad Narayan is here. Now this diagram is not very clear, but there are other diagrams which I already shared. So there you can go and expand it and see that this particular form of Mahalakshmi and Srimad Narayan, whom the Sri Sampradaya devotees, they worship him. And then there is a particular procedure, particular way of worshipping. So then they desire to go here and serve the Supreme Lord as Srimad Narayan.
But why wouldn't the desire to go to the top form also be considered as a material desire?
No, this is not material. Going over here is not a material.
I know, but if I'm in Ekapada, right? That's what it is.
Yeah, Ekapada is I am here.
As someone who is like not devotionally began his spiritual journey, and then now maybe they're taking the step, and they want to say like, yeah, that is my ultimate desire. How is that not seen as also in some ways material, right? Because
Yeah, very good question. Yeah. So actually, as we initially like Prabhupada also says, he is named a book called as Back to Godhead. So initially we are attracted that we want to leave this world, and then go back to the spiritual world. This is our initial desire. As we progress, we come to an understanding that our final goal should be Krishna Prem. And when whatever Krishna decide, he wants to keep us here, that is fine with me. If he wants to send me back to Goloka, that is also fine with me.
don't worry about the results.
Yeah. So Krishna Prem, Hare Krishna. Krishna Prem is the goal. But this initially, we want to like chant and be happy. That's right. So there is a book called as Chant and Be Happy. So, but then that is our happiness. Hare Krishna. कैसी आपकी तबीयत ठीक है? Okay, so coming back to the discussions over here. So there are several phases of creation that happens, and the first phase of creation is done by Gunamaya. This is the creation that is done by Gunamaya. Now this is given in various places. And then there will be creation done by the another Maya, which is called as Jiva Maya. So we'll see that too. But this is the creation that is done by Gunamaya. Here, because you see there is a mode of goodness, there is a mode of, so this is goodness, this is passion and ignorance. This is actually goodness. And passion. So the first transformation, first thing that get manifested is Mahatattva. Mahatattva is predominantly in the mode of goodness. So this is Mahatattva, which is predominantly in Sattva. And then the second one that is generated from goodness is passion, which is predominantly more in the mode of Rajas. And it is called as Sutra Tattva. From Sutra Tattva, the prana is created. Prana, there are 10 different types of prana, which will come later. But this prana is the life force which is used in this material world. Right? In everything there is prana. We generally think prana is only oxygen, but not oxygen. It is there in the food also. Right? If the food doesn't have prana, means it's considered as a dead food. Right? Food which is cooked more than 3 hours is a dead food. So therefore we eat food which is cooked and offered in 3 hours and eaten. And then the third transformation that is happened is tamas or ignorance. And within ignorance, there is some goodness, there is some passion, there is some ignorance. So ignorance, goodness, ignorant passion, ignorant ignorance. So within ignorant goodness is this mind and 10 and devastas are created. And then within passion, the prana and the 10 senses and the intelligence is created. And the 5 tan matras, these are all the 24 elements that are created. These are all 24 elements. It is created in the global level. Universes are not yet created. At the same time, when this creation is done by whom? Gunamaya. This is done by Gunamaya. At the same time, the universes are coming from the body of Mahavishnu. So these are all the universes which you are seeing. These are all universes in the form of balls. They comes from the body of the pores of the body of Mahavishnu. Unlimited, uncountable universes are coming, and they all actually floating in where? This is the Karana ocean. So in the Karana ocean, they float.
Each of that universe has its own Brahma.
Each of the universe has its own Brahma, Shiva, Vishnu. So the elements that are been created, 24 elements which are created here, right? They are created, however, they are unable to work together. And then there are elemental demigods that are also created in charge of the elements. So these are called as elemental demigods or devatas, right? Who creates them? Mahavishnu creates them. So these elemental demigods are coming from Mahavishnu. So these elements are needed to be given as a layer of every universes. However, they don't know what to do. They are created, but they don't know what to do. So therefore, they are praying to the Supreme Lord. And these prayers are there in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 5, verse 39 to 51. These are, we are going to start. Prayers of the demigods. Very nice prayers. So essentially, they are saying, kindly award us your perfect knowledge and potency so that we can render you some service in different departments of subsequent creation. Right? Like you go to temple, right? You want to do some service. And then you go, you don't know. So let's say you go to kitchen and ask Raswati Mataji, what should I do? Right? And also give me, suppose you don't know what she's asking for, then you also ask her, basically, what should I cook? Or should I clean? Or should I do this? We do that, right? So similarly, these elemental demigods are created and they want to do some service. They don't know what to do. So they are offering prayers, and that prayers we are going to go into details. So at that time, hearing their prayers, the Lord expands from his right side, Brahmaji comes. From his eyebrow already, Lord Shiva has already appeared, right? Because when this living entities which I covered in the last class, but some of you are attending here, when Mahavishnu is glancing, his glance is carried by Shambhu or Lord Shiva, who is the counterpart of the Lord Shiva in the spiritual world. So there is Lord Shiva in the material realm also, there is Lord Shiva in the spiritual realm. So his expansion is Shambhu, and he carries all the living entities from here. That is his job. And then further, that's not only his job, but this is the first job he's doing. He's carrying them. So this is same as this Shambhu, who is carrying. From his right side comes Brahma. From his left side comes Kshirodaksha Vishnu. Now, this, when the prayers are happening, at that prayers, in one of the prayers, they say that these elements are not working together. They don't know what to do. The elements have been created. So empower these elements also. So Mahavishnu himself, he expands as Kshirodaksha Vishnu, and he enters into each of these elements. So these are representation of those 24 elements. He enters into each of these elements, and because he enters, now the element will start working and it will function. It will do what it is supposed to do, right? So that Shakti of combining the elements is called as Bibrat Shakti. He enters into the elements and he gives potency. Like if you take an atom, in the atom, there is something within the atom which is moving the atom. The protons, the electrons, the neutrons, there are so many things in the atom. What is that potency? So Krishna says that is his Bibrat Shakti, which is allowing the atom to work and stay in its position or do its.
So that is like Kshirodaksha Vishnu, right?
Yeah, Kshirodaksha Vishnu enters into that. Each of the elements.
He's a super soul.
He is a super soul also, but this is, again, the universes are not created yet. He is the super soul of all the elements.
The elements all combine to become a human body, right?
Elements will combine, that will happen later.
So that
But this is outside. The universes are not yet created. Elements in total is created. In total, the elements are created. So this is 3.6, third chapter, third canto, 6th chapter, 3rd verse. Thus, when the personality of Godhead entered into the element by his energy, all living entities were enlivened into different activities. But this is just like a statement which combines many things. Just as one is engaged in his work after awakening of the sleep. So these are multiple things combined together. So later these are called as prototypes. Why they are called as prototypes? Because their counterpart is there in the spiritual world. Like Brahma, who is here, his counterpart, his name is also Brahma. He is there in the spiritual world, engaged in service of the Supreme Lord in Vaikuntha planets. So his copy is this Brahma.
But this Brahma doesn't know anything.
No, he knows his
But
function.
that's how he Brahma Samhita imitates his structure.
That is another Brahma.
That's another.
Yeah, that is coming from Garbhodakshaya. So this Brahma will later become Guna Avatar. So this is again there in Brahma Samhita. This is from Brahma Samhita. This later prototype enters into each universe as Guna Avatar.
Guna avatar.
Yeah, because for each Guna there is an avatar. For mode of goodness, it is Vishnu. For mode of passion, it is Brahma. For mode of ignorance, Lord Shiva. Yeah. Okay. Now these gigantic universes are created, and then now when the Lord enters, now all these elements will actually cover the layers. So these universes have layers.
Later, Brahma Vishnu
Hare Krishna. So these layers are congealed, means it is covered with that. The universes are covered with that layers. There is a layer of Mahatattva, there is a layer of water, fire, earth, all these layers are there, which is covering the outer shell of the universe. So this is also called as Hiranmaya. Like this, the gigantic Virat Purusha, whom is known as even lived on this 1,000 celestial year in the water of the universes. So this universe is laid down there for 1,000 years. Then Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, because of the prayers of the elemental demigods, they don't know how to create. So he enters into each of these universe. Shirodakshaya Vishnu enters into each of these universe as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. This is Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Now the universes are empty and it is just created. So it from inside there is heat. So he perspires and his perspiration creates this ocean. This is called as Garbhodaka ocean. Okay. This is Garbhodaka ocean. He is also called as Narayan because he laid in this water for 1,000 years. We discussed this last time. Next is the role of Jiva Maya. So now the universes are created. Universes are floating in the ocean for 1,000 years. And now, as it is floating in the water, it is also expanding. And at that time, towards the end, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu enters into each of these universe. And then he has to begin the process of creation. So, after creating the universe, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu enters into each one as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu and empowers Maya to administer the Jiva to keep universe running properly. Now, everything, so Maya Devi is the energy of Krishna, right? As we saw, Guna Maya and Jiva Maya, both are the energies of Krishna. We already talked about Guna Maya, which is outside, and she created all the elements in global. Now, inside, what will happen is the universe needs to be populated because the living entity has to do some actions. So, when Garbhodakshaya Vishnu enters into each of the universe, he takes his portion of living entities. With that, he enters into the universe. he takes the set of living entities, because there is so many living entities. He takes his portion and he enters. Another Garbhodaksha Vishnu will take another portion, he will enter. So like that, he is entering into each of them by taking the portion of the living entities, and then he is entering. This one entering here. There's another set of living entities entering here.
So it's like not the Chirot Dasai Vishnu, it's
Garbhodaksha
Dasai Vishnu which is entering
all the universe.
and Chirot Dasai Vishnu is like actually entering all the elements
He entered all the elements. Also, he will manifest later on
as a Paramatma.
as a Padma. So he empowers the Maya to administer the jivas and keep each universe running properly. Thus, when it comes to managing each material universe, Garbhodaksha Vishnu is Mukhya Nimitta Karan, or effective cause. Right? Because the Upadana is already there. It is already, Upadana has been already, or the material thing is already created outside. So now it has to go further and make the universe happen or create the universe. So he is the effective cause and he is the mukhya effect, because he is empowering Maya. Unless he empowers Maya, and that's what it's shown is in the picture, he is empowering his Maya through the glands. Through his glands, again he empowers Maya. Right? So,
Yes. This point, what are the demigods doing? Like, do they have their instructions of how to create the universe, or are they still, or have they not contributed?
no, they have contributed. This layer has been
Layers,
created,
the
right?
layers.
Yeah. They are in charge of the elements. All the elements are in their charge.
Devtas are different, what you are talking about, which are in the universe. They are
Those
kind of
devtas are different.
No, yeah, I'm talking about the demigods who was
Elemental demigods.
Yeah, elemental demigods.
So those are outside universe.
So I think
Yeah.
each of the
Yeah, like earth, water, air, fire. There are 24 elements. Those elements are discussed. Field of activities is discussed later. So those 24 elements have this elemental demigod. Each elements have, there is a demigod in charge of each of the element. But they have to work together. That's the main thing. So thus when it comes to managing each material universe, Garbhodaksha Vishnu is the Mukhya Nimitta Karan, or effective cause, and the Jiva Maya is Gauna Nimitta Karan. Shri Brahmaji is also Gauna Nimitta. So Brahmaji, when he creates, how will he create actually? He will create on the basis of the living entity's desires, his karma, right? His desires and his karma, based on what he has done in the past. Then he will give bodies appropriately. Brahmaji is going to give bodies appropriately. So he is also a effective cause. Right? What is effective cause?
The one is the energy.
One who gives the energy, the potter. Right?
Nimittaka. Nimittaka.
No, Nimitta Karana is what?
One who gives energy. Yeah.
Nimitta Karana, the Upadan Karan.
That's the actual material cause.
There is a material cause. So matter ho gaya.
The instrument. The car.
No, so there is, let's go by one.
Yeah.
It's confusing. So there is Upadan, there is matter needed.
Nimitta.
And then there is a Nimitta Karan.
Then the instrument.
Instrument is Sahakari, right? Yeah.
The last is here.
Hetu, right? These are the four causes, right? So one is the goal or purpose. So here he is a Nimitta Karan, means he is basically giving the energy. He is creating those living entities or giving them bodies. But unless
Brahma is also the same thing.
Brahma is also giving actually. Ultimately, Brahma is also giving. But Brahma is based on what he is giving, because based on the gunas. So who is giving the gunas? Jiva Maya. Jiva Maya is giving the gunas, and they
Gunama is giving.
no.
Oh, in this universe. Right?
In this one universe. Therefore, one universe I have kept here.
Jiva Maya will be the Gunamaya and Jivamaya will be the Sakara Karan.
No. Upadan Karan is Gunamaya is Upadan Karan. But you need the matter for, like, think in terms of the potter and the clay. So the potter is the one who is giving the energy.
No, what I'm saying is the gunas are the Upadana Karan.
Yeah, gunas themselves are the Upadan. Yes.
But she's helping, so she's Sakara.
She is the Nimitta Karan. Yeah, because she is giving she is the effective cause. Unless she gives the guna, how Brahmaji is going to create?
Okay.
So Brahmaji, so if you see the hierarchy, the Lord, then Maya, Lord's Maya, which is Jiva Maya, and the third is Brahma. So in this sequence. Now, why are we studying this in such a detail? Because ultimately we need to know that this Jiva Maya has two functions. She gives Vidya as well as Avidya. She will give Vidya as well as... Now, everything we need to know is given by the Maya Shakti of the Lord. And at the same time, we need to forget things like of the past lives. For example, what was there in the last life, what we were. So that is the covering there, right? So if we really see that these are the two major functions of this Maya Shakti of the Lord, Jiva Maya. She reveals Pratiyeta and Apratiyeta. These are the terms used in the 2:9:34, second canto, 9th chapter, 34th verse. This is the second Chatushloki. Remember the second Chatushloki? I don't know whether I have it here or not. I don't think I have it here. Let's go here. Yeah. So this is the first Chatushloki. Shift F5. Right. Yes. Huh? Yeah, this is the first Chatushloki, where Krishna is saying that. So this is the Chatushloki of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the second canto, 9th chapter, verse 33. And he's saying that aham eva sameva agre. Basically, he's talking that, before everything, all the creation existed, I existed. And he's saying that I am not different from this Brahman. And then he also is saying, after the creation, I only exist as Karanadaksha Vishnu. So this is the first one. And then the second one is saying about his energy. So all about Lord's energy. Whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, it has no reality. It is my illusory energy. So he's saying that just as darkness hides things and light reveals things, similarly, my Maya, which is the Mahamaya over here, she actually reveals things and she hides things. So ultimate revelation is the Brahman, bliss of the Brahman. However, in day-to-day thing, she reveals things like, when we get up in the morning, we understand who we are, right? What we have to do, all these things, she gives us this knowledge. She gives us knowledge about day-to-day things, and she hides things. Like if I ask, yesterday at this time at 8:30 in the evening, what were you doing? It's kind of difficult for us to answer things, right? We forget. So she makes us forget and she makes us remember things. So making us forget means avidya, and giving us remembrance is Vidya. And then she also gives us, understanding that how we want to enjoy things, or, those the kind of facilities she gives us. So basically, her main role is this Vidya and Avidya.
Prabhuji, in some cases, I have heard like there are people who remember their past life in some few instances. So is it like the Maya Devi
Reveals.
reveals like, okay, you remember your past life for this time?
But yeah, but that is actually a kind of curse.
Okay.
Because if you remember everything, you have remember all the attachments and all the kind of things that happened with you, right?
Because Rashmi was telling me about one story about the past life of one person. Then as he was revealing me those stories, that I can feel like it's more of a problem like
Yes.
for the person.
Yeah.
Because then he's like so much afraid emotionally, like what happened to me and all. It's like a mental trauma.
It's a mental trauma, yes. So there are two Shaktis of the Lord. One is called as Prakshekatmika and the other is called as Avarnatmika. These are the two Shaktis by which she is covering and revealing things. Now,
Prabhuji,
yes.
sorry to disturb you, Prabhu. Just a quick one. When Shambhu carries all the living entities into various universes from Karnodakashai Vishnu, that same
Shambhu doesn't carry. He carries first time only.
He carries first time from Karnodakashai Vishnu and drops all the jivas into various universes. And
No. He doesn't drop that.
Take you to Pradhan.
Just take it to Pradhan. Yes.
Oh, okay. I think you showed that.
Yeah, I showed that diagram earlier. He just takes it to Pradhan. So he's just taking from here. He carries the living entities from here. From here, he
drops it at this time, and then Maya Devi splits into Gunamaya and Jiva.
No. She doesn't split. This creation which I showed here earlier, this is the Gunamaya creation. All this here. Elements are created in bulk. You can think
by Mahamaya.
This is done by Gunamaya.
Gunamaya, sorry. Yeah.
She's basically adding gunas in all the things.
Yes, that is why.
That is the primary role.
Yeah.
Correct. So Gunamaya is it a manifestation or an amsha of Mahamaya?
No, Mahamaya. Yeah. So Mahamaya. So different terms are used here. Jiva Goswami is using the term Gunamaya.
Okay. Gunamaya is an amsha of Maya Devi.
She's transformation of she's transformation of Ramadevi. She's expansion of amsha of Ramadevi.
Is Maya Devi and Gunamaya are the same?
Yes.
Okay, because that's where I said Gunamaya and Jivamaya. I got confused.
Yeah.
That Gunamaya is also an amsha of Maya Devi and then Jivamaya is another amsha of Maya Devi which goes into the universe. It's not like that.
Jivamaya is also expansion of this Maya Devi.
Okay, so Maya Devi and Gunamaya are the same.
No. There are two aspects.
There are two aspects. Again, Jivamaya has three aspects which is coming right now. In this actually only one. I just put the name together to identify that there is a Jivamaya and then there is a Gunamaya.
Okay, but so Gunamaya and Jivamaya are two amshas of Maya Devi.
You can say that, yes. However,
just to understand the hierarchy structure, that's all I want to know.
Yeah. So it's basically one is expansion of another, like that.
Okay, thank you.
However, if you see, this Jiva Maya is actually coming from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. He enters into each universe as Garbhodakshaya and then he empowers Maya to administer the Jivas. So it is the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu who is empowering the Jiva Maya. Does it make sense, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
So effectively, Gunamaya is above the universe, Jivamaya is inside the universe, doing things, their respective roles.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
And then this Jiva Maya has three roles. So this is what I said. She is, and this is directly from the purport of Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi. I have put the link here. Adi Lila, chapter 5, verse 27 and 28. These are the direct statement which is actually given by Srila Jiva Goswami in his Paramatma Sandarbha. Right? He is explaining this, that the Shri, this is basically again, Jiva Maya has three functions. Jiva Maya has three functions. So Shri or Lakshmi is the energy of Godhead that maintains the cosmic manifestation. So when she is maintaining, it is Shri. You have heard this in Sri Sampradaya, we hear this term Shri Bhu Nila, right? Shri Bhu Nila, right? We hear these three terms. So Shri is the energy of the Godhead that maintains the cosmic manifestation. Bhu or Dhara is the energy that creates the cosmic manifestation. So creation is done by who? Bhu. And then Nila or Durga is the energy that is destroying the creation, or she destroys the creation. All these energies act in relation with the living being, and thus they are together called as Jiva Maya. These are three different energies of the Lord in creation.
Brahma and Shiva are also the destroyers, but they are outside the universe.
No, they are within they are controller of the gunas itself. Brahma is controlling the mode of passion. Which Brahma? Not this Brahma which is coming from Garbhodaksha Vishnu. It is a prototype Brahma which came from outside.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioning about Sri Sampradaya. Any Sri Sampradaya temple, they will always have Bhudevi and Sri Devi.
Yes.
But I'm not sure about Neela Devi because all Narayan temples in the south will have Bhudevi and Sri Devi separately.
Yeah, but I have heard of Neela Devi also.
Okay.
The deities may be there, they are not there. We'll have to ask somebody. But Neela Devi is there for sure.
Okay, Prabhu.
So Neela Devi in Bengal they call in this purport Prabhupada writes that in Bengal they call as Leela Devi, or it is Durga Devi, or sometimes Durga Devi is also known as Mahamaya. So it's very confusing that way, because the acharyas when they write commentaries, they write in a different words a lot of time. The same features, yes.
So I think this is to make it very simplistic way, right? They are basically the energy of the Lord based on the role that they are playing. When Ramadevi is expanding, her primary role is to, from all the elements, she has to infuse the gunas.
Mm-hmm.
So that part is done by Gunamaya.
Yeah.
Now, when the universes are created, right? Now, all these universes, they need to be, the jivas has to come and populate whatever. Then somebody have to take some role of having these jivas controlling that. So that's where this Jiva Maya is coming. Within the Jiva Maya, I'm going to say her role is three parts, right? Creation, maintenance, and destruction.
Yes.
Where is the Shiva coming? He's also a destroyer, right?
Right.
Yes.
So where is he in this, inside the universe? He's not there.
So destructions, yes.
So good.
No, good.
So Shiva will destroy the material things, but who will reclaim the jivas? So again, this Durga is going to reclaim and take it back. No? You have to take it back. See, the thing is that we cannot escape this material world, right? What do we say? Durga is the keeping us in the prison, right? Port, right? So what she is doing right now is that as Shiva is doing the destruction of the material universes, or
he does the material universe.
yeah, destruction, and then she is now holding on to the jivas actually.
Jiva.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, the last line is very important. Jiva Goswami says that all these energies act in relation with the living
beings,
and thus they are together called as Jiva Maya.
because see the thing that go back to that potter thing, right? Everybody is like the main purpose of doing the prayojan or hetu for this is what? For Jiva's enjoyment. All these things Vishnu is doing for only one purpose, for all our enjoyment. Right? That's
enjoyment of karma.
Huh? That means karma is basically whatever you've done in the past, accordingly you will be rewarded in this life, and whatever you do in this life, you will be rewarded in the next life. That is as simple as that.
Yeah.
So the whole thing, the potter wheel analogy that Prabhu said about this nyaya, right? The karana cause is right. What is the last part is that I'm starting from the bottom up. For what purpose? For Jiva's enjoyment. That's why this material world is exist. Okay. Now, Prabhu, this is where I think you need to help me. Now here for this Upadan, right? Who is doing this, right? We have got all this Pradhan, all the elemental thing, that is the cost, material cost, right? Whatever we got, all the elemental,
Material cost, yes.
right?
All the
Upadan.
gunas are all material.
And Nimitta Karan or effective cost is done here by Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Right? So you
He is
have
the Mukhya.
Mukhya. And again you have Jiva Maya and Brahma. They are
Brahma.
also playing Gona, right? Because they are also spending their energy to create this. Who is the instrumental cause here?
Instrument.
For Sahakara cause or for instrumental
but
cause for this.
that is not important usually.
I agree, but Kona, who is that? Who is playing that
So
part?
it's going to come.
It's going to come? Okay.
That's where Virat Purusha comes.
Okay. That connects the dots then.
Yeah.
Okay. That connects the dots. Okay.
Because he gives the template.
Yeah.
And the template on the basis of which the whole year.
Yeah. So he is like the potter's wheel, right?
Yeah, he's a potter wheel and he is
The shape and everything.
everything. That's where everything actually will be created in terms of, like, you need eyes. So first he will create his eyes. You need nose for smelling, so he will create his nose. So that's how he's going to create the whole structure. And he's also going to create the whole universe. So that is going to come now. Is it clear so far? Gunamaya, Jivamaya, everything clear? So now, when we are practicing bhakti or when we are practicing any kind of yoga, the basic need is one has to come out of Maya, isn't it? One has to give up this Maya. So from where is this Maya coming now? Let's try to understand this. It's the energy of the Lord, right? So any practitioner, whether it's a karma yogi, whether it's a jnana yogi, whether it's a dhyana yogi, basically ashtanga yogi, or whether it's a bhakti yogi, the basic need is one has to be getting out from the clutches of Maya. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that Devi hi yesha gunamayi mama maya duratya. But what is the solution? Mameva ya prapadyante maya metan tarantite. If one surrenders unto me, then they can easily cross over Maya, right? So therefore, in every yoga practice, there is bhakti yoga process. Without bhakti, they cannot live, they cannot come out of the clutches of Maya. If you see Karma Yoga, in Karma Yoga, there is portion of bhakti. In Jnana Yoga, there is portion of bhakti. In Ashtanga Yoga, there is bhakti, Ishvara Pranidhana. In Bhakti Yoga, of course, there is bhakti. So without bhakti, one cannot relieve themselves from the clutches of Maya. So this is why this is a note. Practitioners of all path, whether it's a Karma Yoga, whether it's a Jnana Yoga, whether it's Ashtanga Yoga, of course, Bhakti Yoga, must take shelter of Krishna to overcome Maya. Because now we understand from where the Maya is coming. Directly, she is the energy of Krishna. So if we surrender to Krishna, then Mamevaya prapadyante. When we take help from Krishna, then Krishna is saying, Maya metan tarantite. You can easily overcome Maya. Right? So this is the direct reference. How each of this path have element of bhakti in them. Right? Now, the Supreme Lord, who is the super soul of all the living entities, now the living entities has to be created. They have to be given bodies. Even Brahmaji has to be given bodies. Right? Because Brahmaji is not yet created. The universe has to be created, right? So who will give the intelligence? Who will give the energy? So the Supreme Lord, he decides based on the prayers of the demigods. He continues that he is now going to manifest something called as Virat Rupa. Right? Virat Rupa, which is he's going to. So there are different terms which is used. One is called as Virat Rupa, or it is sometimes called as, because it's golden, is within the universe, it's called as Hiranmaya, or it is called as Virat Purusha, or sometimes it's always called Purusha. And there were so many other names which I have not put over here. However, Krishna shows his Vishwarupa in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Right? Now that Vishwarupa, if you see, you read the 11th canto, 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna had to give a special eyes to Arjuna to see that, because he could see the past, present, and future, everything together, and it was dazzling. It was so much difficult to see. So a special eye has to given to Arjuna to conceptualize, but he still becomes very fearful in seeing that particular form. Now, when these words are translated into English, there is no such word. So therefore, they only in English you will see the universal form. And when you see this universal form, it's confusing. So therefore, you have to go by the Sanskrit word, right? Now,
So Virat Rupa and Vishwarupa are different, or are they the same?
yeah, this Virat Rupa which Krishna showed was everything within the universe. Not it is because he's saying he's not seeing multiple suns. Within this universe, there is only one sun. So basically, everything within this universe he showed simultaneously. So that was this Vishwarupa. At least that's what I read from.
Many suns, many moons like that, right? And that, you know?
No, at least I didn't come across that. And I also read this particular from Chaitanya Charan Prabhu's article. And he also says the same thing, that it is one universe.
Only in one universe, how that Rupa is there.
Yeah. Now, when you say universal form, generally the whole creation, the whole 14 planetary system is created by Garbhodaksha Vishnu. The entire planetary structure is created by him. So sometimes, it is compared to this universal structure which we see is compared to this Virat Rupa. And then sometimes, you hear this term Virat Purusha. When you say Purusha is, Rupa is the form, Purusha is a person whose form it is. Right? So this particular material manifestation, or sometimes, the entire universe which we see around us, this is also called as Virat Rupa or Virat Purusha. So different terms are used, but when the word Purusha is used, we should understand that it is a person from whom this Rupa has come. So this is the reference 364. When the 23 principal elements were set into action by the will of the Supreme Lord, the gigantic universal form, or the Vishwarupa body of the Lord, came into existence. Right? And then this is 3.5. Into this gigantic form in which the planetary systems and all movable and immovable creation rest. So everything which we see around us, we don't see the 14 planetary system, but whatever we can see, visualize, is within this universe. And this is the Virat Rupa or Virat Purusha. Now, this 3 dots here, the description 3.5, 3.6.4, 5, and 6. Now, this is out of sequence, because it is saying over here, this 1,000 celestial years, it was on the water. But it was on the water earlier. It was outside. This is not happening right now. So this is out of sequence. So who is describing this? Anybody recall? To Vidura. Who is describing to Vidura? Maitreya Rishi, yes. So Maitreya Rishi is discussing this with Vidura. So this is out of sequence. This happened, but it happened outside the universe. Universes were floating in the water, Karana water for 1,000 years. So this is not in sequence.
So 1,000 celestial years, I guess I'm assuming is different than
Yes.
1,000. So what is that, I guess, comparison?
That will come at the end. However, it is much larger than our years. Yeah. Lord Brahma, all the devatas and the living entities need to be provided with appropriate bodies and appropriate senses. And humans and higher they have the maximum number of senses, right? So other times the Lord revealed the form. So totally when Krishna was here, he revealed the form 5 times. And this is the article you can read, right? I have put the link to the article here. You can read. He showed twice this form to Mother Yashoda. And then one time he showed in the assembly of all of the Kurus. And then one time he showed it to sage Uttanka, yeah. And then one time he showed to Arjuna. This is the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So,
Can you tell the story of Uttanka? That's what I don't.
this one?
What is it written?
See, this is after the Kurukshetra war. Krishna. I am also not read. I have not read much about this, but these are the 5. He actually goes from Krishna went to Dwarka and met his old friend sage Uttanka. Krishna appraised him with the detail of the war. Uttanka found it disconcerting that Krishna did not stop the war, though he could. As their conversation grew more heated, Uttanka threatened to curse the Lord with his yogic power. But Krishna told him that such a curse would be ineffectual since he is a god. He was the source of all mystic power. Uttanka doubted and Krishna then manifested his Virat. But
Why only Krishna was showing this form? Like out of all the Dashavatars, why was Krishna regularly showing this? What was the
purpose
reason for
yeah.
that, purpose for that?
In case of Arjuna actually requested him to show because he claimed himself as God. So he said, if you are God, then can you show me the form? Then he said, you cannot see with your regular eyes, so I have to give you Divya Chakshu. Here, huh?
The other avatars cannot do it.
Also, that is
that the case?
Yeah, that is the case. Yeah.
Expecting himself. He is only has the potency to do it actually.
So one more thing, like here, like only Yashoda and Arjuna actually rejected to see that, like,
Yeah.
is it here? Yashoda said, like, just let's go.
Yeah.
Close the mouth. And Arjuna said, like, I don't like this. I'm upset.
Yeah.
So with the normal form.
Yeah. That is true. Yeah. But because this form is too, huh?
This Sarup will consider the Virat Purusha or Vishwa Purusha. I mean, what this should be considered?
This 11th chapter में जो दिखा है 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita में जो दिखा है, that is called as Vishwarupa. That form is called as Vishwarupa. It was a complete form.
Right. जो ये स्वरूप दिखाया गया अर्जुना को, मदर को, what this is a Virat.
हर एक को अलग अलग दिखाया. अर्जुना यहाँ पे जो असेंबली ऑफ कुरु हॉल में दिखाया था, that was a very partial thing. It was a very partial manifestation. Only Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Vidura, Sanjaya, and sages were able to see that form. Otherwise, even blind Dhritarashtra prayed to him, and then he was also shown that form.
Okay, Baba.
In case of Mother Yashoda, he wanted to do some pastimes with her, So when Krishna opened his mouth, then he showed the entire creation.
The universe.
Universe, yeah.
Sage Uttanka case, he said, I am Supreme Personality, so curse won't affect me. But with Gandhari, he took the curse.
Yeah.
Amazing how he acts.
Yeah.
Really people understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can only understand. He can only yeah. Sometimes he does it, sometimes. Therefore, you'll see so many contradictions in Krishna. The Acharyas actually they harmonize those contradictions by giving their commentary on it actually. But yeah, it's a very good point. He chooses, right? He chooses. Yeah.
Only for the devotees.
Yeah. In many, yeah.
Is fighting.
Yeah. Okay. So these are the 24 elements, 23 elements plus, the soul and the super soul. These are Panchabhuta, the earth, water, fire, air, and ether, and then Gyanendriyas, Karmendriyas, and Vishayas. So these are the 24 elements that are treated earlier. These are the field of activities. Okay, so this is a summary. Lord Karanadaksha Vishnu, remembering the prayers of the Devata, saw the creative function suspended in an elements in unmixed state. Right? Then he sends his Briprat Shakti, cohesive energy, which amalgates the elements and form the golden universe. And then amalgates means it covers basically.
That is Hiranmaya.
Huh? Hiranmaya. That's golden universe is that Hiranmaya. The golden universal egg-like fetus with all the living entities resided 1,000 celestial years in the Karana ocean. Then Lord Garbhodaksha Vishnu entered into the golden egg and gave it a life. So if you see the entire creation, Karanadaksha Vishnu is the super soul of all the universes. Garbhodaksha Vishnu is the super soul of each universe. Right? And Shirodaksha Vishnu is the super soul of each individual living entities as well as the elements. All living beings, including the Devatas, were enlivened as if awakening from the sleep. And then Virat Purusha differentiated the functions of the universes consisting of 3 Shaktis, which are subdivided into 1, 10, and 3 respectively. So again, this is some technical thing that Virat Purusha, when he manifested the thing, he differentiated the Jiva and the life airs. So these are the 10 life airs: Prana, Apana, Samana, Udana, Vayana. And then these are the life air. Like if we are like even blinking our eyes, there is a air which is needed, right? So this Naga facilitates opening of eyes and mouth, etc. So this Krakara is increasing appetite. Kurma is helping in concentration. Contraction, sorry. Oh, contraction and expansion, yes. Devadatta helps relaxation by opening the mouth wide, like yawning. This is Devadatta. And Dhananjaya helps sustenance, maintenance of the body. So these are different prana needed for the living entities to live. And then this is another thing which is going to come subsequent. And this is the whole Vedas actually divides the subject matters into 3 things. One is called as Adhyatma, Adibhuta, and Adidaiva. Everything is divided into these 3 things. All the material elements is Adibhuta, or the creation of the material elements is Adibhuta. And then this subtle senses is called as Adhyatma. So we have eyes. Now if we ever close our eyes, we still see things, isn't it? So how do we see things? So that is the subtle eye through which we can see. Similarly, if you even close everything, you can still hear some kind of sound. So that is subtle ear. So similarly, all the subtle senses are there. And then there are controller of this Adibhuta and Adhyatma. So these are called as Adidaiva, who are controllers. So the subject matter of the whole Vedas is divided into these 3 things: Adhyatma, Adibhuta, and Adideva. So in this way, actually, the Virat Purusha does further subsequent creations. Now the living entities have to be given body, even including Brahmaji has to be given body. So who is going to give body to the Brahmaji as well as the living entities? So a template needs to be created. So that template is also part of this Virat Rupa. And first he creates this 14 planetary systems. In terms of planetary system, this Virat Rupa or Virat Purusha, there are 14 planetary systems. And great philosophers, they imagine that the complete planetary systems in the universe are displays of this upper, middle, and lower. So the entire planetary, like they compare this head with Satyaloka, Tapaloka with breast lips, Janaloka with. So these are philosophers who are actually imagining the body of the Virat Purusha or Virat Rupa in the terms of planetary system. Now this is one kind of imagination. This is second kind of imagination. The Brahmanas represents Virat Rupa's mouth and head. Kshatriyas represent arms. Vaishyas represent thighs, and Shudras represent legs. This is another way of representing the Virat Rupa. Third way of imagination is chest to head, head to chest is Swargaloka, navel is Bhuvarloka, and lower part is the legs is the Bhuloka. So these are different ways the sages imagine the same Virat Rupa, a different way of imagination. Now comes the chapter 6 of the Canto 2. And this chapter 6 is discussing the title of the chapter is like very weird. Because the Prabhupada gives the title of this chapter as Purusha Sukta Confirmed. So the chapter is titled like that. So what is Purusha Sukta? So Purusha Sukta is the prayers which is commonly there in the Rig Veda. This is the section in which the Purusha Sukta prayer comes. It is recited in several Vedic rituals and ceremonies. It is often used during the worship and installation of the deities of Vishnu and Narayan in temples or in the fire sacrifices, during the recitation of Sanskrit literature, or for one's meditation. So these are prayers which is there from Rig Veda, very famous prayers, and most of the South Indian temples, they recite these mantras very regularly.
We also do.
We also do.
Yeah.
Oh, morning.
Huh? Or silently.
Okay.
So where is that true? Where is the first part is coming from? From Vishnu Chakravarti?
This is there in the
Purport?
no, this is there. I took it from Subodhini.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sure it is from Vishwanath Chakravarti, because generally their contents are from there. But I found this in Subodhini. The Purusha Sukta pair also found in other scriptures such as Yajurveda. Srila Prabhupada titles these 6 chapters of the second canto as Purusha Sukta Confirmed, because the verses of this chapter are similar to the verses of the Purusha Sukta. So this chapter has many similarities to the Purusha Sukta prayers. Therefore, Prabhupada writes Purusha Sukta Confirmed. So when you use the word Purusha Sukta, what is the meaning of that? So furthermore, the Bhagavatam confirms that the Purusha mentioned in the Purusha Sukta is Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Now we are talking about Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, therefore this topic came. How the creation actually happens in detail, that's what is going to follow. So Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is going to, as I said, he's going to give a template. How does he give the template? So this is the second description. Remember, first description was of the Virat Purusha is what? It's a Dharanashraya for the... Yeah. So first time when we discuss this, it is the Dharanashraya for the attached yogi. Right? So what is the bona fide Dharanashraya object of meditation for the neophyte yogi? Virat Rupa is described as the object of meditation for the neophyte yogi. That is the first time description that given. Now the second time his description is given is in the 6th chapter, 5th and 6th. Yeah? 5th is not much, but 6th is where 5th verse 35 to 42 and 6th chapter verse 1 to 6. The second description of the universal form, Virat Rupa, is to establish that how the Supreme Lord, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, is the material cause of the universe. Right? So what is the material cause? The Sanskrit term? Upadana. Upadana. So he is the Upadana Karan for this material. That is established using this chapter, 6th chapter. He gives the matter for this creation.
So, can you come again? You're saying that Garbhodaksha Vishnu is the Upadan Karan for
Yes.
this universe?
Yeah.
Then who is the Nimitta Karan?
He is also Nimitta Karan. He is the Mukhya Nimitta Karan. We already studied that, right?
Upadan Karan is the material cause, right? Like,
Yeah.
So what are the matter you needed to, like for pottery you need clay and water, right? So that is a
Right. So he doesn't transfer, he gives the energy.
Right.
He is the Mukhya Nimitta. No. Right.
So we were discussing that gunas are the material cause.
3 gunas on the basis of
All the elements, 24 elements.
Yeah, so that should become the
right, but then that is the element is in its
that is infused with all the gunas.
Gunas is there.
That should become the Upadan Karan for
Right,
our universe.
but then it has to be given a shape, right?
So that is given by Garbhodaksha Vishnu.
There's given by Garbhodaksha.
Then he becomes the Nimitta Karana, right?
Yeah, he's a Nimitta Karan. That's what we studied earlier. Right, he's a Mukhya Nimitta Karan. And Maya, yeah, he's exactly. He's everything.
Yeah, that we can say one way.
So how he is that is going to come in the chapter. Okay. So Purushokta is basically when they are reciting Purushokta mantra, it is for whom? It's for Garbhodaksha. So remember that. That is why it is significant. Furthermore, it proves that authenticity of Bhagavatam, generally known as Smriti Shastra, as it collates with the references from the Shruti text. So this is another way of saying it. It is a Smriti Shastra, right? There are 2 categories of literature. One is Shruti and Smriti. What is Shruti? It is directly heard from the Lord. Smriti is it is remembered, right?
Repeated.
Or repeated again. So who is repeating this? Who is repeating this? Bhagavatam. Yeah. Sukadeva Goswami. But from where did he hear? From Vyasdev. Right. So from how did Vyasdev write the Bhagavatam? It was his no, it was he saw it. No, from Narad Muni. However, he expanded it because Narad Muni gave him a very compact version. So in the first canto, 7th chapter, it is narrated that Vyasdev, before writing, he saw the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. Whatever he narrated, he saw it.
Does it not treat it to be Smriti? It's
So,
remembrance
yeah.
is writing.
And then from his remembrance, he is writing it. So that is Smriti. Therefore, what it is said here, furthermore, it proves the authenticity of Bhagavatam, generally known as Smriti Shastra. The Shruti and Smriti are giving you the same things, as it collates with the reference from the Shruti text. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his, here is given from where they have taken. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his commentary on this chapter has highlighted the similarity of this verse. So which verse in Purushokta and which verse in Bhagavatam, he has given those. So how Garbhodaksha Vishnu is the he is the Nimitta Karan we saw earlier. So right now we are saying he is the Upadan Karan. He gives the matter also for the purpose of creation. So now this is the way Garbhodaksha Vishnu, he is the material cause and he provides ingredient for the universe. 1 to 16. So what he does from Garbhodaksha Vishnu's subtle sense organs, right? We have gross sense organs like eyes, ears, nose, skin, right? All these are gross sense organs. But then there is a subtle eye, there is a subtle nose, there is a subtle ear. So Garbhodaksha Vishnu's subtle sense organs, from there what is produced? Sense object, which is Tanmatras, plus the element itself. Right? The example will be given. And from Garbhodaksha Vishnu's gross sense organs, right? Like his hands, his eyes. The sense devata and the subtle sense organ of the Virat Rupa, and further the Jiva is created. So first he is creating the template, which is the Virat Rupa.
I didn't quite understand what's being told.
So because we are saying that material from Garbhodaksha Vishnu's limbs, his limbs provide the ingredients for the universe has to be created, right? So he has to give a template for Brahmaji how to create, and he has to give the ingredients also. Unless he gives them both, how he will create? How Brahmaji is going to give body? A body of a cat has to be given. So how does a cat look? How many eyes cat has? How many eyes dog has? Right? How many ears dog will have? Or cat will have? All human beings in that case.
So subtle sense organ gives sense objects.
From his subtle sense organs, this sense object is created.
We already have all the sense objects around the universe, right? They're all revolving around the universe anyway.
Sense objects are not there. Elements are there.
Elements.
Yeah. Elements are there. But the eyes and ears and nose, those have to be created, right? Different shapes of different kind of eyes, different kind of nose. No. No, elements are basic elements.
Hanging around all the eyes. I'm imagining like that.
So that we can't imagine actually how it's done. We have to just get an idea that how, basically we have to get an idea that Lord gives all these things. He creates all.
What is page 186 you're mentioning that it was paid
Which one?
in the same slide in the bottom? It's a tabular format on page 186.
Huh. Subodhini.
Oh. So this one, let's see this.
Yeah, this is the one. But then again, more details are going to come, which is coming in here. So
Yeah, so this will probably clarify that by top summary slide.
yeah, this is summary.
No, that you actually summarized into 4 boxes on the top. Previous slide. The details are follows. Right?
Follows, yes. But not everything is given here actually in the next one. Because here, if you see the details, here, first of all, he is creating the dhatus. From the 7 dhatus, he is giving 7 Vedic meters. From the body, he is giving this active principle of power of everything. From his hairs and beard, cloud is generated. From his nails, lightning mineral. So these are different level of description. However, the other detailed level of description is given here.
Yeah.
But this is on the basis of the desire. So here, if you see, I have actually not added.
Prabhuji,
Here, actually, I didn't want to. So 1 second, Prabhu. Just let me. Because Prabhu is asking this question. So,
Table is more confusing.
yeah. So see over here, I have not gone into details. So this is the format which is there. So this 1 to 16 is Garbhodaksha Vishnu is limbs provides the ingredient for the universe, right? So here, this first verse 2.6.1, from the mouth, which is the gross sense organ of Lord Garbhodaksha Vishnu, arose speech. The speech organ and Agni in the universal form. These are more details. Again, it's very confusing. So try to understand one thing, and you can read this little detail later on. But try to understand this. This is a principle. Okay. From Garbhodaksha is Vishnu's subtle sense organ. Right? The sense object, which is the tan matras. So what are the sense objects?
Sense object, right?
Sense object.
Touch.
Yeah. Yeah. Vision.
Okay.
Seeing, smelling.
So these are like Panchabhuta. These are the 5: earth, water, fire. These are the elements. And then these are senses. Eyes is the senses. Now, what is eyes look at? Form. So this is sense object. This is called as tanmatra. What is ear? Purpose of ear is to hear sound. So this is Shabda, Rupa, Gandha, Rasa, Sparsha. What is the nose?
From his sense organs, the tanmatras are created.
Tanmatras are created.
Okay,
right?
whatever the eyes need.
Yes, from his particular organ. So remember like this, from his particular organs, these objects are created. That is the formula, right? Now, what is the formula? The formula is given here. From Garbhodaksha, Vishnu's subtle sense organs. Sense object means tanmatras are created, and the element is also created, plus the elements. And from Garbhodaksha, Vishnu's gross sense organs, which is like hands, right? What are the gross sense organs? These are this is the Karmendriya and this is Gyanendriya. So Gyanendriya means knowledge acquiring senses, and then this is working senses. So hands, legs, these are all the working senses, and these are knowledge. These are the things from which we acquire the knowledge acquiring senses. And this knowledge acquire, how do we acquire the knowledge? From eyes we see a form, from ears we hear a sound, from nose we smell, from tongue we taste, from skin we touch. So these are all gross senses. However, there is a subtle sense which is not mentioned here. There is a subtle eye, there is a subtle ear, there is a subtle nose. These are also there. So similarly, the Lord also has the same thing which we have. So from God has, therefore, in Bible it is said, man is made in the image of God. So he has some form, some image. We are made in his image. So Garbhodaksha is Vishnu's subtle sense organs. From there comes the sense object and this. So if you trace this, then it will say from the mouth, which is the gross. So gross is over here. Arose speech. So speech, if you see, is a tanmatra basically. No, speech is not tanmatra. The speech organ and the Agni in the universal form. So these are
Speech. Voice is the Karmendriya.
Karmendriya, yes.
Yes, subtle sense organ. And the Devata is that.
The Devata in charge of that.
That is that.
Yeah.
So
That
each
is
Devata is responsible for certain things in our head capability.
Yeah.
Agni is capable for speech.
Yeah. So like that.
So bro, I think the whole top box explains why he's a Rishikesh.
Yeah, because
He's the proprietor of the
All the
senses, right?
All the sense.
Yeah, so that shows that part. Can you go up in the slide and it also say why it is mouth coming and whatever, right? Speech, because if you see the whole creation of the 24 element, it starts with sound.
it starts with sound,
And
yes.
then it comes to the fire because it gives the form and other things. So it is following the very logical sequence.
Yeah, it's a very logical sequence. Right? This is, I mean, there's too much to cover in this.
Exactly. Yeah, I know that. So it is exactly following the sequence of what is explained in that 24 elements.
24 elements is.
So everything starts with sound, actually.
Yeah. So therefore, yeah. So yes, Prabhu, you had some question online.
No, Prabhu. Clarified. Thank you.
Clarified? Okay. So then from Lord's place of smelling, which is subtle, the best location, the arrows, the life, air, Vayu, Ashwini Kumaras, and fragrant herbs. So like that, all the subsequent things are following, right? So I think here we'll stop. Basically, it is going through the different part of the body of the Lord and explaining that what objects are created. And on the basis of that, later on, this is also coming from the Lord, like the heart, the mind, the belly. From his belly, something is coming. From his bones, mountains are coming. From his sapta dhatu. So dhatu means when we eat, then it converts into, in Ayurveda, there is this concept of sapta dhatu. When we eat the food gets digested, it comes us into, I think we covered in there. Rakta, Medam, something, yeah, Majja, Shukra, like that, so many things are created one after another. So like that, 7 dhatus are there. From these 7 dhatus, the 7 Vedic meters came. So this is just a summary. So I have kept it in very short form, but the third is where the Lord's from his desires, the body, another which is discussed in the 10th chapter. So desire shapes our subtle body. That's the idea that is presented here. Our desire, what we have right now, will create our next gross body. If I have desire to do certain things, then on the basis of that, the next body will be created. Because in this body, I could not fulfill. I have desire, but I could not fulfill. So the next body which I'll get is based on this particular desire which I'm going to have in this life. That is created in the or explained in the 10th chapter of the second canto. So we'll stop here. If there is any discussion, we'll take it. Otherwise, we'll stop here and we'll start from here. So that
It's supposed to start from here.
yes, next time.
Next time, no repetition.
No repetition, as almost clear for everybody. We'll start here and then we'll.
Won't allow you to go for asking questions and questions.
That's okay. This is good question because it clarifies.
Maharaj ki pudanti wali madam.
ये तो ये है ना, ये बहुत ज्यादा क्वेश्चन है, ये सिंपल क्वेश्चन है, हमारे क्वेश्चन में बहुत फर्क है.
अभी उसको लाना कैसा है वापस?
इसको अच्छा अब नीचे नीचे कर्सर लेके जाओ. एस्केप भी करो.
Escape. Okay. Okay. If there is no online question, we'll stop here. If you have question, you can put it on the group also.
Sure.
So
Thank you.
we'll stop here. Thank you so much for joining.
It's like going to
Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Sukadeva Goswami ki jai, Mahadev Paksha ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, और प्रेमानंदे हरि बोल.
हरि हरि बोल.
अमृतानंद प्रभु की जय.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
जय.
Thank you, Mama. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
मुझे हेल्प करो.
Hare Krishna.
So, and then there is a stop button. Prabhu, where is this stop button?
second line. $135.
Oh yeah. Stop share. Hare Krishna.